having me.
It's been a year. You've
Yeah.
You've had to take over a really difficult year as well. How's that been? Let's just talk about the preparations leading up to today.
They have been hectic. 130 meetings
Yeah.
across the country, across all provinces, because we made a commitment that we are going to make sure that this G20 covers all of South Africa. They must feel to be part of it, but also want to make sure that Africa also participates. So we had the meetings across. We had our Sherpas working also to get to the point of a declaration. Somebody was asking, but the leaders never discussed. We said, no, but the Sherpas discussed. The ministerial meetings, the governors' meetings, all those meetings, they worked on a portion of the declaration that are culminated into the main declaration. Yes, there are those that get excluded, but those that go into the main declaration. There's work that will continue in terms of the action plan. So that's what it has been. We have had meetings in Egypt, we have had meetings across the continent in preparation of the G20. Sometimes some of the meetings had to take place at the UN in New York when the General Assembly was meeting, some in Brazil. You remember they are part of the Troika when people went for COP and other engagements. So we have had, it has been that work.
It's been the journey of 1,000 miles and it has paid off. We had, for the first time in history of the G20, a summit declaration coming on day one of the G20 Leaders Summit. And there are, I think by Arabella and my count, at least 21 new innovations in this declaration. So it has been a completely groundbreaking, Afrocentric, South African-led declaration that we ended up with yesterday. But it was not without its drama, Minister. And I want to bring in your perspective on those days, Thursday this week, when the US played its hand and showed its hand. We heard from the presidency, we heard from Durka. Would love to hear from you. What was happening behind the scenes when the Americans came forward with this disruptive move, and then hearing from Washington the way Caroline Levitt had characterized the president, using, language that isn't appropriate and fitting of a head of state?
So remember, the preparations include security arrangements. And for security, you need to accredit people. People have to be registered. They need to say who's coming, like a delegation. There's a delegation format on the Leaders Summit to say, is the president or a leader plus this number who must be in that room. And you accredit accordingly. People need to tell you, are they coming? Are they sending their embassies? All those things. And to manage those, we also have a closing date for pre-registration and then for collection of the accreditation so that we can match the face. You saw we're using technology, access.
I love it. Excuse me, I look beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So even with that, so we had a cut-off time. So the US, remember, this is not the first move they did. They communicated through a note verbal to say nobody is going to. Initially, they communicated that their VP will participate. Their team came. We worked with them to prepare for their coming. Then they were called back where nobody's coming. We're not sending anybody into the summit. So we are a country. We are a host. We need to plan. So you plan the sitting arrangements. You rearrange your things accordingly in accordance with who is coming and the levels that they're coming. So we're told it's not coming. They are not coming. And we made arrangements to say, one, there will not be a handover ceremony. There will be a closing ceremony. And then we'll arrange the handovers because it's not a necessity that you must hand over. Yeah. And then we wake up. They say not even in the morning, late in the hour, that no, we are coming, we are sending a charge, but we are not participating. We are participating, and then they will observe, and then they realize you can't be in the room and observe. Okay, we are not observing, we are going to be we are going to be in the handover ceremony. But we don't have a handover ceremony as planned. So we made arrangements that you don't have a handover ceremony. We communicated that we'll hand over a deco with a relevant person. And I don't think they understood that we are an organized bunch of people. They thought like their own view of us or the African continent. They have a very dim view and thinking that they can just tell us jump and we'll say how high. It doesn't work that way. We are a sovereign state. We make arrangements. This is a multilateral platform. A decision of one country cannot disrupt and impact negatively on the other countries. We need to show respect to all our guests. And our guests who told us in time they're coming, we needed to show respect to them. We needed to also show that we have plans and the plans cannot be changed at the last hour.
Did South Africa outmaneuver the US?
We didn't outmaneuver the US. We just simply worked as South Africa, organized, straightforward, pre-arranged, communicated our position. And that's where we are.
What does it mean, however, to have, and I must just add that President Cyril Ramaphosa has actually walked into the plenary hall there, and I think we'll probably hear a word from him.
It's my cue to go.
In just a little while. Just very shortly, you do need to head off, you're quite right. Very quickly, how do you measure success when it comes to this G20, even though you have a few dissensions? Yes, US, but also Argentina, for example, too.
No, Argentina did not dissent. Argentina raised their concerns on certain things to say, will we be able to implement? So that is normal. People are entitled to raise concerns. By the way, the declaration was agreed by the Sherpas in a meeting before the Leaders Summit, a day before the declaration was sorted. So there was no need to prolong the declaration to bring it back.
Yeah.
For us, our success is that we've put the African agenda on the map. Africa is mentioned in the declaration for the first time, and perfectly so that we're in African soil. 80 times in the declaration. For those who have counted, I'm going to sit and count myself how many times we mentioned. But also the agenda is the agenda that addresses African priorities and African challenges. And not only Africa, but also that of the developing world. If you recall, when the EU leader was speaking, they said, we need to talk about the partnership of Africa, South Africa, and the EU as equal partners.
Yes.
We're no longer a charity case. We are equal partners. In any case, the world will rely on us. We are the fastest growing population. By 2030, we'll lead the world with the youngest population for that matter. We are home to the biggest or largest tractors or hectares of arid land, so we cannot be malnutrition, we cannot go hungry. We are the home with the largest reserves of critical minerals that are needed for the new economies of the world. So Africa, it's our time. We have demonstrated our capacity as an equal on behalf of all the African nations.
We thank you for stopping by. Final question on the modalities. All right, so we've had the summit declaration, the G20 declaration yesterday. What happens vis-a-vis America and managing the handover? They're taking over, and we'd love to hear from your perspective the practical things that must happen, Minister, now.
So next week, the US will send a delegation, the charge to DECO, or whichever way, but there will be arrangements to hand over the gravel to them because it has to be handed over. But also we remain part of the Troika. We are the outgoing president. The US is the president, will be the president. Then the United Kingdom will be the incoming president. So if the US decide they are going to cast aside what we have agreed in here and not work on it, the other countries of the G20 will continue with the implementation, but the UK will take over from the US and will continue this agenda. Thank you.
Minister, let's leave it there. Thank you.
We got to let you
Appreciate
go.
We have to let you off, so you can actually also be in that room right now. So really, really appreciate your time.